yeah, I would not want to be as beautiful as you are because, you can't be anonymous. Isn't it awful to be beautiful?
I really don't think I'm beautiful. I think I'm beautiful on the inside, and that's not a burden.
You're picking that up?
Well, but on the other hand, everybody notices you. It's an artificial life, isn't it? Isn't there a certain amount of pain? I can remember when I was young and good-looking. It was about 1,000 years ago, and I remember I felt it was a burden. I couldn't wait to get old.
Steve,
couldn't wait to get old?
I couldn't wait to get old. How do you feel?
I feel that if people look at you because of your outward appearance, and they pay more attention to you because of that, then you can do positive things that other people wouldn't get to do because they don't get noticed as much. If you get attention because you look good and you have a good inside and you can do positive things, then I think it's positive.
So it's an
If
opportunity.
you're tormented by your physical beauty or whatever, then it's negative.
I have a question for Steve. Other than having a thrill of a lifetime being next to the supermodel, Steve, and being at West 5th Street, what was your greatest handball thrill down at West 5th Street? Yeah.
I saw him play a finals against your brother. Terrific game.
I might, without thinking, thinking it really out, I might initially think that when I played Paul, that rematch, the tournament, when I had that dispute about about that Paul, which was, I think, probably a good reason, a legitimate reason for playing the match over.
Wow.
I might consider that my biggest thrill, but after I think it out, I'd consider that my second biggest thrill, playing the game over winning.
What's your biggest thrill in handball? Other than the Hall of Fame, obviously.
You said down to West 5th Street.
No, I'm saying going from West 5th, beyond that now to your tournament career, what's the next highlight?
You mean a handball game?
Yeah.
You're referring to a specific game, aren't you?
Sure.
Well, the time Danny Flickstein and I played Howie and Kenny, we lost 25-5 and I got there. And I played Howie and Kenny myself, without Kenny serving, and I killed him. I would consider that,
So that was a doubles game, even though your expertise is singles. Okay, let's just backtrack 1 second. As I understand it, you got most of your basic handball skills at Lincoln Terrace Park, and then on to Avenue P. It was Avenue P all the time? But didn't you see the greats of old, like Mo Ornstein and Vic Hershkowitz play? That was at Avenue P. Okay, what you learned at Avenue P to develop your skill, did you enhance those skills in any way at West 5th Street, or did you already reach a plateau where there was nothing new to learn?
Well, from playing with Moe and Vic, and playing against you and your brothers is really how I got better. That's it, period.
So,
playing with better players.
So basically,
by the time I got here, I already did that.
So basically what you're saying is to be a champ, you have to play great players, you have to play a lot of players, you can't be located in only, you have to play tournaments, and that's what brings out the great.
You have to play with better players.
When
I was younger, the better players were you and your brothers, and Moe and Vic. Well, Vic was, but those Moe and Vic I played from, the money games, not tournaments. And Howie and Kenny were the kids.
How did the fact that you used to play a lot of games with only your left hand, playing two guys at once, how did that add to your championship status when you went on into tournaments? Was that a great help to you? Not to miss with the left, keep the ball back, tie your opponents? Is that basically it?
I think how it really helped me in one way. I don't think it really helped me physically. I think it just playing all those tough games, well, it made my left better, but I don't think it made a difference how my left being better playing against, not to sound like a record, you and your brothers, but it made me mentally tough in those hard games.
That's an interesting comment because
physically it made that much of a difference. It was just the mental toughness.
That's an interesting question. I'll tell you why. Because in most great matches, the obvious thing to do is to play the opponent's weakness. So I can only think about, if you develop that great left hand, that would minimize your opponent's ability to penetrate.
It made me a better defensive player.
Okay.
It made me much stronger, like I said, mentally. because the games are so hard that in order to win the points with your one hand, it made you work so hard that when you played a regular game, it was a lot easier on your brain, at least in my brain, to compete. And it's true what you said. It made you much stronger on that side of the court, but not the way I swung that, like you swung, an easy way.
Yeah.
It made me better defensively, not so much offensively.
Now, as I understand it, you were so great in your era that you had to play lesser players under certain circumstances. For instance, I remember your opponent could hit the ball to 2 walls and you could only return it to 1. I remember you had to wear high hip boots and a heavy raincoat. I remember one time you had to hold a radio to your ear, and I remember another time.
I didn't have to hold it. I had a bet.
I know, that's why you held a radio to your ear.
I had an umbrella for my head.
And there was another time you held a chair in your hand. Which was the craziest game in your mind that you had to submit to in those games? Oh, excuse me.
Right. The craziest game I ever played was I played Crazy Donnie. Oh, I guess I played Abe. It was paddle.
Oh, Crazy Abe.
I played him hopping. I had to stay on one leg.
Wow.
Sometimes I got away with 2.
Wasn't there also a game that you had to stay on the outside of the court, on the sidelines, and in back of the long line to play?
The guy has to go over the short line. So
he had to hit it to
that isn't really that hard.
That's very interesting.
But the hardest game to play is playing on one leg.
He had it quick. He couldn't feel his leg anymore.
I mean, could you change legs and hop on the other for a while?
No, that's walking.
Okay, I just have another question for you. It'll be a short one. You're a champion in 1 wall, and you're also familiar with 3 wall and 4 wall. What, in your mind, do you think is the basic ingredient for a 1 wall champion to be successful, say, in 3 and in 4 wall? What do you think is that key element, other than playing on those courts and trying to come along? Assuming that you took this great athletic talent that you possess and you went into 3 wall and 4 wall, what do you think is the key to make you successful? Is it to take the ball off the wall on the fly? What is it?
To make any play.
So what will be the most successful pattern that you could use in order to be successful in 3 and 4 wall, those alien games?
Myself or anybody?
You, as a champion 1 waller.
You have to go in, as you know, and practice and practice and practice and learn the skills. 4 wall skills have nothing to do with 1 wall.
Okay.
You couldn't take your 1 wall skills and totally, I mean, you could totally use them, but it wouldn't make you anywhere near a champion 4 wall. But I think they're playing Jimmy.
Okay.
Be more true than that.
Yeah, but I understand you played Jimmy in 1 wall and beat him. He played you in 4 wall and he beat you. Right. So that, to my mind, is a standoff.
No, but it proved that the games are so different.
Exactly.
I beat him 25-3 and he beat me 25-1.
Exactly.
With our opposite hands, and both of us are national champions. It means that the games have very little to do with one.
Very good. All right. So now we've covered 1 wall and we've covered 4 wall.
Right.
Now we'll concentrate on 3 wall. Since there isn't a 3 wall facility in this area except in Bayonne, New Jersey, and it's too big for the 2040. Now, not having an opportunity to play, and now you say, I think I'll enter that 3 wall tournament with your athletic skills. What do you think will be the main thrust of your play in order to win now?
3 wall, as far as I'm concerned, is basically a 1 wall game.
Okay.
It's really 80% 1 wall.
So you would serve low? Would you serve low?
Well, I don't think serving is super important in 3 wall. Being in super shape is important.
Very
so
good.
You can withstand all the punishment that you have to take day after day.
Exactly.
You know? I don't think you have to be, there's no, being in super shape is the most important.
Do you?
And most of the 4 wall players seem to be in better shape than the 1 wall players. And that's probably their only advantage that they have.
Do you, in your mind, though, perceive that in order for a 1 wall player to be great in 3 wall, he has to develop overhand shots in order to be effective? Yes or no?
Yeah, well, but a 1 wall player normally have a good overhand swing. I mean, up until recently, not to be knocking the current guys, they haven't, in my opinion, they lost the opportunity to play with real good players, and not to be, being, just saying it the way it is. And it's not their fault, but the fellas that play now, the champions, Joe and Albert, and them, don't have the opportunity to play with better players. So.
Like Harold Hanf or Marty Cushman with the overhand serves, pushing you around.
You and your brothers and Vic and Mo, Vic and Jimmy, but prior to that, all the people that won 3 wall tournaments were all 1 wall players. A 4 wall player couldn't win.
Good
I
point.
wasn't even a champion 3-ball player, and I wasn't in good shape, and I always got to the quarterfinals.
Beautiful.
So,
With so little
it's a
practice, too.
one-more game. It's just a question of being in good shape, as far as I'm concerned.
Now, having played for how many years? About 35 years. Summing up in your own mind about all this activity in the sport that we both love, what is the main thing that comes to your mind that gave you the most pleasure in all the years that you played this great game?
I like the idea of having a lot of people watch the playing years ago. That was the challenge of playing against what I consider better players than myself. And there was a lot of fans in those days. 10 times.
Beautiful.
Now,
Very good.
That was my reason for playing.
Now, personally, I'm having more fun now than I ever did in my life. Are you having?
We're getting along better.
Are you having more? Are you having more fun than ever before? Steve, thanks so much. It's just great to be with us. Thanks so much, Steve.
He won with his opposite hand, one hand, left hand, his opposite.
And what did Jacobs use when he played
hands.
forward? When he played forward, what did Jacobs use? Okay, he used his left also. Okay, what we got to do? Okay. How come Billy is playing? Oh, gee, for a minute I thought he was on the left side. Okay, we're in the early part of this first of 2 semifinal games. One semifinal is going on right here on Court 1 at West 5th Street, and behind me, simultaneously, we have the other semifinals with the great Emmett and the great Buddy Gant. I don't think on paper that they're going to have much problem beating the other semifinal team, but you never know. What we're looking at here is 2 great competitors, not only in hardball, but also in the softball, not only in doubles, but also in singles. The man serving, Paul Providi, a tremendous player, a tremendous champion, great reflexes. The same with Eddie Golden, his partner in the dark shirt. 2 fabulous players who do what they do so well. The team they're playing is Robert Sastry, who managed to make the semifinals, and also his partner, Billy Abalafian. Billy is having trouble with his right shoulder, so as you notice, he's doing all his work with his left hand. He's trying not to make errors here, but I have to think through here. Sastry is playing a very conservative game. The team they're playing are very fiery, and they go for the shots, look for the opportunities. So I give a slight edge to this front team now. Even though they're both tremendous singles players, and you would suspect that they couldn't get together in a doubles match, they've been playing a lot of doubles together. Now watch the positioning here. Typically, all 4 players line up at the short line. They seem to congregate around that central area. But I think you're going to see something different this game. I think you're going to see not only Eddie Golden going for angle shots, you're also going to see Paul Providi going for angle shots. That's going to open this game wide open. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Billy here, serving with his left hand. But he does so well, Billy. He pushes the ball to the long line, keeps the guys off balance. But as you notice, Sastry is not going for the shots. He's just pounding. That could be dangerous. See, there was an attempt by Eddie Golden for the shot. It's still early in the game, so this is supposed to be the feeling out process, but they're actually trying to establish a pattern here. The back team, very aggressive. They want to get on the scoreboard early. We got 2 great referees here. The man in the red hat, Morris Levitsky. We call him the Dean of Referees. He just won the prestigious Robert Kendler Award from the United States Handball Association for all his years for the love of the sport. We put him in here as an icon. He not only is an excellent referee, but he's also a stable part of West 5th Street. People come down just to see Morris Levitsky.
He's a minor god.
He's a demigod. He used to be a demi-tasse. You see how a different pattern is going here? Billy is keeping the ball in play. That's okay. Billy's keeping the ball in play. But there's fire in the eye of Golden, Providi, and Sastry. You're going to see tremendous fireworks here in a few minutes. I think in order to win this particular match, it's going to be a contest about who goes for the shot and makes it. They're both playing. You see how he went for that shot? He didn't just go for that. He actually hit the ball 3 times in the volley, setting it up. That's the real difference between this game and the games we've seen before. They're actually looking for the opportunity by using 2 previous shots to set up the definitive shot. They must go for the shots if they plan to win. I think the back team has that more in mind than the front team. The front team has won their 2 matches by playing very conservatively. I think they sense now that they're going to have to do more than that. Sasri is supposed to be the dominant player over there, the shot maker, because Billy is keeping the ball in play, which is all he can do. This is a beautiful matchup, and I think you're going to see great fireworks here. Watch Billy's face. Look at his eyes. Even when he's not hitting the ball, he's got his eye on it. He's ready to move. He's ready to protect. He knows he's at a disadvantage. He can only play defensively. I hope this little bit of pitter-patter goes past us. We've been lucky so far. The referee is checking out the condition of the court. There's a lot of heat in the ground. It'll evaporate quickly if the raindrops don't continue. The center part of the court still looks dry because that's where the players have been moving. It's the forecourt. All right, I don't think the players want to take a chance hurting themselves. They'll only take a few minutes. Erika. We'll take Erika a few seconds here. Leave it on there, Matthew. Look at Erika.
I'm going to get very... I'm
going to get wet? Is that too? You got to get farther back?
Come on.
Okay. Emmett. Introduce you to Emmett Fitzpatrick. He is the chief coordinator and the brainchild of this tournament. What we thought was going to start out as a very small tournament has turned out to be one of the biggest events that we've had at West 5th Street since the Nationals. Emmett has coordinated the whole thing. There's a $50 entry fee per team. He's going to tell you a little bit more about his thoughts, what goes through his mind to put through such a fabulous tournament. Emmett Fitzpatrick.
All right, Emmett. The first thing is, as a player and as a producer, is there a kind of a double role that is slightly uncomfortable for you sometimes to be the maker of the tournament and the star of the tournament at the same time?
Yeah, when I have 2 teams disagreeing, you know, then we don't have the right referees, you know, that start up a lot of trouble.
I have heard you handle that trouble in a very decisive way. You know, you've said, if the referee makes the call, that's it.
That's stand.
Yeah, and it seems to me that you've had a lot of experiences in handling a lot of pretty difficult situations, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think I can answer that, Matthew. Just look at the physique on this guy. Would you want to question any of the calls he makes?
I could take this.
He's not only a great athlete, he's a fine gentleman, and because he has so much respect, when he speaks as the chief referee to make a call, everybody listens.
All right, but at the same time, Emmett, here you are, you know, you probably are one of the best 5 or 10 blue ball players in the city or the world, who knows? And at the same time, you know, you're producing. It's 2 roles. Have you got 2 sides of your personality for each of the roles? I mean, on the one hand, as an athlete, you know, you've got to be extremely focused and ferocious. On the other hand, you have to be very fair and judicious and detached.
Yeah.
How do you keep that all together? How do you do it?
I'm a nice guy. I just call what I see, you know, and that's it.
All right. But on the court, I see you very focused.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And mentally, you know, you're absolutely attuned to the game, you know, like on a straight line, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that a different part of you? I mean, how nice a guy can you be, really, if you want to destroy an opponent? You know, let me ask you that.
Well, I just play to win. I don't try to destroy nobody. A win is a win. You know, a lot of people hurt themselves for trying to destroy somebody, you know?
Now, I notice your style is essentially, if you're playing hard, you've got a real straight-up style. And if you get a little bored, you've got these soft little curling shots. At the time that we see those soft spinning shots from you, is that a sign that your mind isn't on the game anymore?
I'm tired.
Is that it?
Emmett, Robert Sastry and his partner Billy are now playing Paul Praviti and Eddie Golden. At this particular moment in time, who do you think you'll be meeting in the finals?
Golden and Paul.
And what do you think the score will be?
It'll be close, like 21-18.
Do you think that's because Robert Sastry is playing too conservatively?
Yeah.
And you think the fire between Golden and Praviti, they'll start going for shots and that'll make the difference to break it open?
Yeah.
Okay, now having said that, facing Golden and Praviti in the final, what will be your game plan? I won't tell them, but I wanted to know what you think your game plan will be.
Play the opposite hand.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
But they have 4 opposite hands. Equally strong.
Play the opposite hand, wait for my setup, and barrel.
So you're going to be the determining factor of this whole ball of wax.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Emmett, very good, Emmett.
We got to get back to the game.
I'll question Emmett.
Okay.
How do you play a situation of deference with a couple of singles players like yourself and Buddy Gant, who are tremendous players at singles? How do you work out who's going to take what if your instinct is always to take everything?
Because we're now at late Saturday afternoon. I'm sure the people who have left didn't want to really miss this game. I suspect that they had dinner engagements and theater engagements. But we still have the hardcore group here that loves handball. The score is 9-6. Paul Praviti is serving. The question to be answered is, with this little bit of rain delay, who will warm up faster to get right into the action? Because this is a 21-point game, it's going to be critical who strikes the blow with enough ferocity to perhaps keep a lead. A moment ago, Billy hit a shot with his left hand and killed it. That may not necessarily have been so good because he should really keep the ball in play. However, Paul Praviti just missed the shot with his left hand, giving Billy and Robert Sastry to serve. Sastry still has fire in his eyes. Look at his eyes. He looks like he wants to blast that ball past everybody. I don't think it's going to be enough. Somebody is going to have to go for shots. And again, Billy, Robert Sastry's partner, made the kill shot. Notice he's a right-hander, but he's serving with his left hand. He's had a little trouble with his right shoulder, but he keeps that ball in play, makes very few mistakes, and when he sees an opportunity, he drops it down just like that. In theory, he's not supposed to do that, but he's got the control, he had the shot, he had his opponent blocked out, because he's supposed to be the man who keeps the ball in play, doesn't take chances. If he should happen to miss a few kill shots, he puts more pressure on Sastry to perform. Sastry has not yet performed the way he's supposed to. He's supposed to step back, let the ball drop, and drop it in front of his partner, who will be a legal pick in front of Eddie Golden. The game is getting now to almost a crisis stage. The back team is worried that they had this letdown because of the rain delay. They're a little unsure about bringing their firepower together. They're both determined to do it. Sastry is playing the conservative place again by keeping the ball in play, but as you saw, Eddie Golden hit the kill shot. It's going to be the back team that's going to have to kill, aim it to the center, get them off balance, and then go for the corners. If they continue to play the center only, then they're going to be in for some rough sledding. They must go for the shots, they must go for the corners to separate Sastry and Billy from that center. Billy is back to playing errorless ball. He's also looking for another opportunity to put the ball away. Sastry had a left corner kill shot, and what did he do? He put the ball back in play. He is not yet taking the chance. I don't know how far you can carry that game plan. They're ahead by 4 points. I suspect if they come to within 2 points of the back team, he'll have to change. But now, playing his game, he's still getting the points. Keep in mind, the team in the back, both singles players, they like to be aggressive. Doubles is a game of partnership. When they warm up, they'll do it very well. But with the rain delay, they still have to find their way back to that tempo. There's the first shot Sastry took. He dropped it in front of himself. That's because he had a 5-point lead. That made it a 6-point lead. He plays conservatively till he gets the lead, then he does whatever he has to. If he falls back in the score and they come close, he goes back to his original game plan. Look at Billy's eyes. He's concentrating. He's always ready to return that ball. Very important in doubles. I've played with players. I do all the work. They'd stand there and just watch. And then the team would hit a ball to them and they'd still be standing there watching. Even if you're not in the play, you must be alert and moving. See, this is phase 2 of the game. He played conservatively, got the lead, and now at will, he's going to do what he wants. If the other team makes a comeback, then he'll revert back to his conservative play. Isn't that beautiful? Up until this point, he didn't think it was necessary to go for the shot. Once he took the lead, he dramatically has shown them that he means business.
He doesn't seem to use his wrist very much with it.
That's because he's a champion paddleball player.
So he's thinking paddle.
That's correct. He's so sharp on bringing the balls back, it's basically from paddles. Look at that magnificent play. Instead of Paul putting it in the left corner when he had Sastry all the way out, for some reason he put it in Billy's corner. But I've never missed a shot from over here, as you well know. Now keep in mind, everybody is keeping the ball waist high and lower. They're hitting the ball with basically the same amount of speed. One team, if they have the skill, could actually break the game over by using overhand serves to the long line and then attacking and dropping the ball down. See, they're all still powering the ball basically. Now watch what happens. Sastry in the back will not go for the kill. He will still play the conservative game until the front team scores too many. If he senses that, see, he got him by playing his game plan. He got the guy out. Now he's going to do the same thing with this man. The front team has to be aggressive, has to go for shots. That's what Paul wants to do. That was a magnificent shot right through the center. That was a beauty. It shows the intensity with which these men are playing. They don't want to lose, they want to win. Not only for the prize money, but also for the pride. The guys who come out first here, and ultimately if they win the tournament, they will be very much respected in the game of handball around the city. And if we get this on cable and then ultimately on national TV, these will be the superstars that we hope to see. This is where it all begins. We plant the seeds here on a modest basis. Thanks to the work of Matthew Paris, getting it on cable, we move on from there. Look at the intensity with which Paul Pravidi is hitting that ball. He's got his heart and soul in this game. That was a good bounce, good pickup. They're so expert that that would have been dead for anybody else. Look how the intensity is increasing. Beautiful.
Beautiful volley.
Even though the back team didn't win that volley and the front team gained the serve, what did happen in that long volley, the back team is finally congealed. They're coming together as a team, and heaven knows what can happen from here. The point of the matter is, with the front team on that short line, they control the court. You can only do your damage basically if you serve and take advantage of it. But that back team is now glued, they're coalesced in their game plan. That long volley allowed them to warm up and actually come together as a team. Let's see what happens. And it was basically Paul Pravidi who did it. By that intense play and that resounding shocker through the middle. I don't think that they lost their